Hi, this is Greg again. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to assemble your Green Eagle. When you order a Green Eagle, you can either buy it direct from the factory and pick it up in Texas and pick it up 100% completely put together. The second option is you can have it shipped to you on a pallet and it'll be about 95% complete, so you can ship it right to your home. If you can lift the pallet up and get it off to your shop, or you can ship it right to your dealer and then you can take it home, or your dealer will charge you a little bit to put it together for you. But let me just go through it real quick. There are videos on how to put the prop together, how to put the cage rings together on Ashton Bruner's YouTube video. You can check those out, but I'm just going to give you the highlights. When you get your Green Eagle, that whole roll cage, the red, or all the white and red parts in the seat and the gas tank and the engine, all that's mounted. All the wiring is mounted, everything's ready to go. So you'll have some parts, basically a bag of the AN hardware. So the first thing you'll do is put the wheels on. These are already pre-drilled on the axles, and if the wheels are not actually attached to the axles, it's very simple just to come over and you put one washer and a nut on and you kind of snug it up so the wheel cleans or turns clearly. They do have those little plastic inserts in there will hold the nut on that shaft, but I recommend you use some of that Loctite, the blue, not the red, the blue. But any event, when you get them, the axle, this part of the axle right there that connects to the axle into the fiberglass rod's already put together, and so all you do, they're pre-drilled. You just take this one axle, slide it in here, put that one nut right there in, it'll line right up, you're good to go. What they do at the factory is they put a piece of red tape on the right hand axle, so as you're facing the machine, you'll know which one goes into the right hand slot and then the one without tape goes in the left hand slot. The same is true with the back axles. So the first thing is you put your front end up on a block or something, put the two axles in, put those two nuts in, the front end is done. You then come around to the back, and what I did was just use a car jack and I put a little piece of carpet on it, and right there where the battery is, I just lifted it up with a car jack because it's heavy. And then you do the same thing for the back axles. On the back axles, they didn't use the nuts, they use these quick D-connect D-rings, which just slide in and out and then clamp in place. So you put the two back axles on, you're good to go. The next thing that you'll do is work on your cage. These silver parts, there'll be one already put together for you, but they're real simple. They're basically two tubes and they're connected by these spacers here. So basically you have a nut with a washer, you put it through the tube, you put the plastic spacer, the metal spacer, the plastic seater, and then another washer and a nut. These tubes have a little number inside, so this will say 1 and this will say 1. You make sure they're at the same end, and you just put those two spacers in and you bolt them together. This one will say number 2, you do the same thing. The blue bars here and the blue bars there, they already have the spacers that go vertical right here already in them. So all you do when you put these in is to put on this little clamp here. You just pull it apart like that, slide it in, and then put that back. So the bottom pieces are the only ones you really have to look out for, because there's a left and a right. Obviously on the left and right you'll see the little plastic piece sticking out to the left or to the right. So the right one goes on the right, left one goes on the left, or you won't be able to put your rings in. They have 2 of those D-clamps for stability, and you make sure that they go under the axle. So once you get your cage rings built, you basically put those pieces in, you put your cage rings in, and you then take these Velcro straps after you've snugged the cage rings together over those plastic inserts, and you put the Velcro straps on it, holds it all together. The top part right here, I call it the top ladder rack, I don't know what he calls it. This is already fully assembled with the pieces going up and then the pieces here. So that's fully assembled. All you do is just slide it right down on these 2 posts, and then once again use these little D-clamps to put it on. So now your cage is all built. Your prop comes in a couple pieces. If you look at this hub, it's in two sections. So let's come around this way. If you take this hub here and lay it on the ground flat, you'll have 8 of these little blocks. Okay, so if it's laying on the ground flat and you're looking at it this way, the block would be going like this. Okay, the high point would be to your left, the low point would be to your right. You'd spin that around, do the same thing till you go through all 4. Then you would put the blades on. Once again, the blades, if it was like this, would be pitching down away from you, and make sure the curb part would be towards the floor. After you get those 4 blocks in, you put the blade on top, then you put the second set of blocks, will only go one way, just the opposite from the other side. Then you put this hub on top, and then all you got to do is put these 8 outer bolts in and snug them down. Once you get those on, it slides onto the shaft, or excuse me, you use these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bolts to bolt it to the shaft. Notice there's a metal plate here that holds it to the plate in the back, and these just screw right into that plate right off of the drive. So it's a very simple installation. Once again, the only other highlight is on these 6 bolts, you'll use a 1/4-inch drill because they have metal inserts for standard bolts, and since they use the AN bolts, you just got to bore those out just a little bit to clean them up. And on the video on Ashton Bruner's channel, it'll show you, just exactly how to do it. So that's real simple. It takes about 10 minutes to put the wheels in. It takes about, 15 minutes to put the cage together. It takes about another 20 minutes to do the prop. And the last thing you'll do is install the battery. The battery has a little tray here you set on. Once again, mine's larger. Most batteries are skinnier. Fit right on that tray. You put the Velcro around it to hold it, and then I put 2 twist ties just to make sure, because mine was larger. You connect the negative then the positive, and you're good to go. At this point, you're ready to put in your oil. The Green Eagle comes with 2 quarts of oil, synthetic oil, and so over here on the passenger side of the engine is the fill, and then you have the dipstick up here. What it does not come with is Lucas oil. This engine takes 2 1/4 quarts of oil, so I dumped in the 2 synthetic quarts of oil that Green Eagle sent me. Then I got the Lucas synthetic oil enhancer from AutoZone and put a 1/4 quart in as well. If you use normal oil instead of the synthetic, Lucas makes the oil enhancement or treatment, that's not synthetic. But so just make sure you're using synthetic with synthetic. That is now complete. That's all the rest you have to do to it, and you're ready to crank it up. Let me just give you a little cautionary note. When you're starting your Green Eagle, just start it up with this button right here. You'll pull that out, or excuse me, not this button, I'm sorry, this lever right here, that's a choke. Push that in, check your throttle, then hit this or the other one and start it. Make sure that the Eagle is up against something with the front wheel so it doesn't go forward. Start your engine up and let it idle. After it warms up for a while, then you can rev it up just a little bit. But in the braking period, you don't want to rev it up, and you definitely want to make sure you have the prop on before you start it. You don't want to run it without the prop because it'll spin at higher RPMs. The prop actually acts as a governor. So, once again, put your front wheels up against like a wall, and then go ahead and start it up, let it idle. After it warms up, you can take this cover off right here, and there's a little screw down in the carburetor that you'll see. And what you'll want to do is just very slightly turn that left or right so that when you look at your tiny tack, back over here, your tiny tack, that it'll say 1350 RPMs. So once it's a little warm, adjust 1350, let it run for 15 minutes or so, shut it down. Next day, do it again, break it in a couple times, and make sure once it's warmed up that it's basically running at about 1350 RPMs at idle. This knob that I pointed out earlier is actually for cold running. If you pull that out, if it's real cold outside, that'll activate a little valve and it'll suck air from around the outside of the muffler and have warm air going through the carburetor versus having colder air going through it. So I hope that was informative. Enjoy the video. You have a great day. Bye.